Well, for the first time since 3 men were convicted in the murder of Crystal Rogers, WDRB sat down with attorneys involved in the case.
WDRB's Hayden Restevsky explains why Joseph Lawson's defense team is pushing for a new trial. Hayden?
No attorneys talked to the media directly after a jury handed down guilty verdicts for Joseph Lawson and Brooks Houck last week. But Lawson's attorneys agreed to an exclusive interview today, and no questions were off limits.
The jury found the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit murder under instruction number 4A.
It's been called the most high-profile murder case in Kentucky history. And these are the men hired to convince a jury their client wasn't involved in the death of a small-town mother of 5. That Warren County jury ultimately convicted Joseph Lawson of conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with evidence in the Crystal Rogers case.
I was shocked. I was dumbfounded. I kind of glanced down and just told Joey I was sorry. And his first response was, brother, you can't control what those 12 people just did.
Jurors recommended a sentence of 25 years in prison. Bobby Boyd and Kevin Coleman believe there should have been a different outcome and are now pushing for a new trial.
People have really kind of created monsters and created stories that are entertaining, get clicks, right, and sell, whether it be on Netflix or podcasts or whatever. But you know, when at the end of the day you look at the evidence, it's not those things aren't there.
They believe their client simply could not get a fair trial when the other man sitting next to him in the courtroom was the main suspect for more than a decade.
It was 3 days into the trial before our name was essentially really mentioned. So at that point, I realized that what I had feared was actually happening. We sat there for 2.5 weeks where 98% of the evidence came in against Mr. Houck.
Do you feel like it was possible for Joey Lawson to get a fair trial sitting next to Brooks Houck?
Honestly, I don't think it was possible for Joey Lawson to get a fair trial in Warren County, sitting by himself or with Brooks Houck after the Steve Lawson trial. I don't think that anybody, including the court, realized the media spectacle that was going to be associated with Steve Lawson's trial. That elephant in the room was something that we just simply couldn't escape. And then sitting next to Mr. Houck that entire time, it certainly had an effect on the jury.
They've asked the judge to set aside Joey Lawson's conviction or grant a new trial. They argue several errors were made during the trial when it comes to jury instructions, witness testimony, and a lack of evidence.
Really, for 10 years, there was a lack of transparency as far as the information goes and investigation goes. And I think we actually kind of saw why, which is they actually don't have a lot.
I've never seen a case of this magnitude with so little physical evidence.
That wasn't for lack of effort, right? I mean, they did a massive investigation, comprehensive.
They respect the jury's verdict, but believe Joey Lawson wasn't involved and think a jury would agree if he stood trial alone.
I truly believe that the Rogers family deserves more answers to the questions that they have, and with the amount of effort that the government has spent and the inability to provide those answers, it's not fair to them. I just believe that Joey Lawson is innocent in this case.
Joseph Lawson's official sentencing is set for late August. His attorneys asked the judge to rule on their motion to throw out his conviction before that sentencing. Hayden Restevsky, WDRB News.